Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo.
This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is today. This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield.
Yeah, all right. That's a jaunty little tune. Yeah, jaunty. Speaking of jaunty little tunes, as official this morning, I released my song over on Patreon. So if you're one of my patrons over on Patreon, you get the song for free. If you are not, it's $3. I didn't want to charge that much, but that's Apple, because they're the ones that are putting it out. So Apple says it has to be $3 so they can recover their percentage, which is probably going to be $2.
Very cool.
So Martin was going to share. I was hoping he was going to do that while I was talking. There we go. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
There it is, and you can actually preview it. Gives you a minute and 12 seconds of the song. No, you didn't share your audio. That's awesome.
What?
There's no audio.
You got to click the button. Click the button. By the way, Gary, I like that picture of you on the thumbnail. You look very suave and debonair.
I'm sharing the audio.
Well, there is audio there because I tested it. So anyway, this is the link.
Okay, let me try
to
again.
The storefront. Copy. And I'm putting it in the chat. Control V.
How about now?
Yep.
I need to wait a minute. I need to catch my breath. I can feel it in the room, somewhere deeper than flesh. You broke me down. You were my greatest sin. Giving you my trust and then letting you in. It's a shot that counts, and there's nothing more. You know you earned it when I come through that door. Throw up your hands, this is the end of the line. Choose your weapons, there ain't no better time. Stop your playing, I told you twice, there ain't no bargains. You know the price, you know what brought me, you know all of your crimes. There ain't no running from the bullet this time. I got your name on the bullet. I got your name on the bullet this time. You got one last chance.
And that's it. And if you want to share this video, that's the lyrics, so you can actually read the lyrics along with the song. No
Why did
dancing
that
ball,
sound
though.
so tinny? That was weird.
I have no idea. It sounds awesome on my end.
It didn't on mine.
Yeah, it's a
And I
stream
know
yard
what
thing.
the song. I know what the
I'm
song
sure.
sounds like.
I'm sure. So the link's there in the private chat. Anima, if you want to share it, Martin, anybody?
Give me a second.
I look forward to the day when I'm not dependent on other people. So we just
Fuck
fucking
off.
do it. No, I mean, I hate being dependent on other people. So right now there is a documentary series, 3-part series on the making of Patriot Game over on Film Stories. You can find them on YouTube. I can actually share the link right now if you ever want to go over and watch these videos. Each video is about 7 minutes long. And I'll share it in a group here. This is the link. No. No. Oh my God.
What?
Delete that. That's a private video. I meant to share it on the screen. Oh, never mind. Fuck. Delete. Delete comment. There we go. So the video I just shared is for the making of Patriot Games. And it's a really good series. They're not very long, but it gets into the nuts and bolts of how they made the film. And they discuss some of the changes that were made between the film and the book, which I'm not bothered by that. I'm a big Tom Clancy fan, but his books read more like sit reps than real books because you don't get depth of characters, no serious character building. But he has cool characters, but there's no real character building in his writing. It's not his forte. His forte is writing tech manuals.
Yeah, I only read one of his books because I found it on a train. And it was a 10-hour train ride, so I preferred reading a boring book.
You know, it'd be funny is if Tom Clancy left that just so people would read it.
Maybe.
Right?
But man, that was boring.
I've read Hunt for October and Red Storm Rising.
Red Storm Rising was probably my favorite from him.
Yeah,
but that would be funny. You could picture an author just leaving copies of his book around places just to see what people do.
Right? So the big difference that happened was that Harrison Ford was a bigger name. And they had Sean Connery with the first film to help sell it. And the studio Paramount didn't feel that Alec Baldwin was a big enough name to sell it. And so they sexed up Harrison Ford to get him to take over the role. It would be the same universe as you saw with General Greer. Jim Greer would continue to be played by James Earl Jones, which is why we're watching this today, is because we're celebrating the life of James Earl Jones. Although I got to be honest, really, the mid part of his career to today, rarely did he star in films. He was usually the second character or third character.
Yeah, he never was the main guy in a movie.
He did. Well, he did. He did that one where Robert Duvall plays this Southern racist, finds out that he's related to James Earl Jones. And it's about the two of them finding a middle ground with each other. It's a really good film. They're cousins.
Yeah.
Very much like this. So, but in this film, he played Admiral Greer. And even though he's not in the film all that much, his scenes are important and integral to basically whatever Jack Ryan's doing, because by the start of this story, Jack Ryan has left the CIA. He is now teaching and lecturing at Annapolis, the Naval Academy in Annapolis, a place that I spent a lot of time at myself because I loved going there. It was close to where I lived. So we would go there. We watch football games and shit and any sporting events they had. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And so this takes place a few years after Red October. And interestingly, the lecture he's giving is on submarines and Russia, the deployment of the Russian military. And it's focusing again on we always consider our greatest threat this one thing, but they flip the story on its head by making the threat something else. this time. And this time, it's the IRA. Now, I'll let you know some good trivia about the scene, the assault scene at the beginning, where he's just given a lecture over in England, and he's walking back to meet his wife and daughter. And on the way, he witnesses an assault on a member of the royal family by the Irish Republican Army. And or what we learn later is an ultrafaction of the IRA.
Yeah, I was fixing to say it's an offshoot of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they weren't able to shoot that in London proper. The reason why is there are laws against that anywhere near certain buildings, gunfire, explosions, shit like that. So what they did is they got permission from their version of Department of Defense over in the UK to use the SAS training center, where they have mock-ups of these buildings for training reasons. And so they shot that battle right then and there in that location. I thought that was pretty cool. So they did have the help of the British government in making of the film. El Mariachi, that was a later followed by a known sequel, Desperado. And what's interesting is the guy from the first film does appear in that film.
Yeah, he does. Mm-hmm.
Now, it wasn't a Spanish movie.
It's Mexican.
But it was directed, and I think I remember it was produced by Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez made the original. Yep. Well, he made all three. He directed all three of them. Yep.
All three.
Mm-hmm. Isn't he one of the brothers in the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, that is really nice. Nadia just shared my music promo. Gerry is super sweet and deserves all the support. Check out this new song below on his Patreon. And again, if you are one of my patrons over on Patreon, you get the song for free.
That's right.
Otherwise, you have to pay Apple's price, which is $3. It's the minimum Apple will allow me to charge.
Darn it.
Those assholes. And it's not like I get those $3. I probably get 99 cents to $1 out of that. Apple, they're so fucking greedy.
They are.
But they're also awesome at the same time, so it's hard to really talk shit about them. So, that was that.
Not for me. Believe me.
Yeah, I have no problem talking shit about that. Way overpriced and overhyped.
So, Patriot Games is definitely, yes, it is a sequel to Hunt for Red October.
Oh, yeah, direct sequel, yes. Mm-hmm.
And even though they recast Alec Baldwin's character of Jack Ryan, I think it was a smart move. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Alec Baldwin in the first film, but he couldn't have done what Ford did in this. He couldn't have. He wouldn't have pulled off, because Ford is actually the everyman. That's what made him so popular, is everybody can really like and identify with him. I will point out too something else interesting, because it's not the first film Samuel L. Jackson bitched about his role in. And I went looking for it, because I remember when it happened that he made kind of a stink about it, that they cut some of his scenes from the film. And somebody kind of put him in his place at the time, going, it's a Harrison Ford film. You're lucky you were in it. What are you talking about? But he would do this shit. And he did the same thing with what is that legal drama where he murdered a guy over his daughter?
Oh, Mississippi
Matthew
Burning?
McConaughey.
No.
What's it called?
A Time to Kill.
Time to Kill.
Yeah.
He bitched that the scene they cut from the film would have got him an Oscar. And it's like, look, man, that's just not professional. You just sound like a whiny bitch. I didn't know he's
such a diva.
He really kind of was early on.
Yeah.
He learned to watch his P's and Q's because it hurt him initially. But once he started shutting his fucking mouth, things were fine. It just doesn't look good when you do that. And it's a Harrison Ford film. Why are you worried about all your scenes? It sucks. A lot of people end up on the cutting room floor and never seen it all.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's in three major scenes in that film.
the one I always tell people about is The Big Chill. Kevin Costner's in it, but you only see his hairline and his hands, and that's it.
Yeah, you don't see his face.
And he shot several scenes for that movie, flashbacks and everything, and he ended up on the deck.
Yep. Not seen, and he never complained about it.
No, never said a word about it. Yep.
Never pissed and moaned about it. And that always disappointed me that Sam Jackson did that. But then again, you know, I still love him. I'll watch his movies. But he kind of had an ego. I don't think he was a diva. I think he had an ego that he knew he was going to be big, and he didn't like people slowing him down.
Well, I mean, does anybody on the planet like Alec Baldwin? But they still watch Hunt for Red October. It's one of the great.
I watch a lot of films with him.
Yeah,
I love Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
In my mind, I pretend he's somebody else. If you ever see that movie called The Color of Money, I love that movie. It's a sequel to The Hustler.
Yes. Awesome.
And he does. He comes back and reprises his role. And this time he's the teacher. And there's nothing funnier than watching Tom Cruise use a pull cue like nunchucks.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, is that supposed to be cool? Look goofy to me. So, but this film, I mean, you've got some fantastic other people that were recast, like the chick that played Dr. Crusher in Star Trek was
Gates McFadden.
Gates McFadden played his wife, Alec Baldwin's wife. And they recast her with Ann Archer because they were looking for somebody that worked better with Harrison Ford. And Ann Archer is one of those actors that just looks good against actors like him. I mean, she looked good against any actor, to be honest with you. She was awesome in Narrow Margin with Gene Hackman. I love that fucking movie, and I want to do that on one of our Wednesdays.
You know what's funny? That his wife lost the English accent between movies too. Thought that was neat. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah,
I don't remember her having an accent in the first
She did.
film, but...
Check out The Hunt for Red October.
She does. She's English.
When she's giving the babysitter instructions, that's the only scene she's in the movie. She has got a definite English accent, the Crusher chick. But then, Ann Arthur doesn't have it in the movie.
Now, I will tell you, it was kind of funny watching Richard Harris use a Northern Irish accent over his Limerick accent, because he's from Limerick, Ireland, and he's got a very, very thick Irish accent, but he changed it to a Northern Irish one that's harder on the Irish, and so that was neat. And he nailed it. It was a really good accent.
So good. What a great character he is in
that movie. That's a tough thing to do as well. Like, it's so close to your real.
Yeah, when you already have an accent, to adopt an accent that's just a little different than your own. But we do it here in America.
That would be like me having play a New Yorker. Like, I can't do the accent very well because it's very close to a Boston one.
It's always been easier for me because I'm accent neutral. And I lost my Southern accent from doing stage production and radio. But another thing in there is James Fox is in there. He plays the royal family member that gets attacked, that Harrison Ford's character, Jack Ryan, saves. And what's neat about him is him and his brother. His brother was the bomb maker in Force 10 from Navarone. And the Fox brothers. And the brother from Force 10 from Navarone's grandson, it played Ian Fleming in the new Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yes.
Which I thought was neat, which is James Fox's, what is that, great nephew? Or what, I don't know what to call that. Great nephew? Great nephew, right.
There you go.
So that's, you got a great cast in this. You've got Harrison Ford, Sean Bean. This was the one that put him on the map.
Yep.
Up to that, he'd only been in British and Irish productions. And Archer, who's
he was in GoldenEye. People saw him in GoldenEye before.
In '95. That was later.
Oh, was it?
92 is, yeah.
Yep.
That was 95, dude. 92. And it's weird. How do I know these years like that? Because I remember exactly where I was when I saw it. And I remember what years I lived in certain places. So it's like finding the years for films. I can usually guess within a year of when it took place. So you got Harrison Ford, of course, being brought in to play Jack Ryan perfectly. He's different. Now, a lot of people who are fans of the book felt he was wrong for the part. He's too old. And it's like, you know what? Fuck off. It's a fucking movie.
Wasn't his age wasn't my issue. My issue was
he was in his 40s.
Yeah.
At this point.
My issue was who would think he wouldn't want to get in the fight and get the scrap? Because
the problem is people that read the books expect the books to take place in the same timeline as the films, and no, it doesn't happen.
That's the way it works in the movie universe.
I mean, Mace Neufeld, who produced all of the films and the TV series Jack Ryan, died the final season of the series. He did his best to try to keep it close to the books, but he hit a point where the movies weren't making the money that they needed. So he ended up doing the fourth film, recasting it again with an actor who should never have played Jack Ryan, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, well, ugh.
I had no problem with the other cast members. My problem was with Ben Affleck. He is just not a Jack Ryan character.
No.
And then they changed Jack Ryan in the next film by making him a secret agent, an operative.
Yeah, I don't think that one was based on any of the books, though.
It wasn't.
It
wasn't.
Talking about Shepard?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it was a fun film, but not great. It was fun. Costner was good in it.
Mm-hmm.
The big problem was the recasting of certain characters, and everybody wanted Greer back. If you're going to do a story earlier than Clear and Present Danger, because everybody knows that's when Greer dies. He died of cancer.
Right.
The worst kind, pancreatic. It's like, oh my God. Now, this intro is so odd. At first, it's like I made the joke, oh, it's Beetlejuice, because they're flying over trees again.
Damn.
And so as Patty O'Neill, get more Irish than someone named Patty.
Irish name of all time.
Yeah, and it's not a Northern Irish name either.
No, it's
Patty
not.
Is Southern Irish.
The O'Neills would be from near Dublin.
Yeah, but he's got a Northern Irish accent. So
I'm going to see my Irish roots on Saturday night. Going to Maine.
I see my Irish root every night.
Going to Maine to see the McBriarty clan. The McBriartys. Yes.
Hey.
So here we are. This is a great scene because Harrison Ford whispers into the phone, make sure to feed the fish. If the fish aren't alive when you get there, make sure to get some new goldfish.
Get some new goldfish, right?
And it works.
Yeah.
Because
and she goes, oh, they got big while we were gone.
Yeah.
And of course, that's Thora Birch, whose career just sort of died because, like, after she was a teenager, she was not as Hollywood pretty. So her career kind of tumbled. She's still working, but she just doesn't get much attention anymore. She did a lot better in the 90s and going into the 2000s. I think the last really big film I remember her being in was Ghost World with what's her name that played Black Widow?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
How can you forget that name?
I think American Beauty was bigger than Ghost World.
Ghost World was later, though, wasn't it? It seems like that was closer to 2000.
I've never seen Ghost World, but I've seen American Beauty.
See, I'm going in line of when they were made. I think that was the last thing, and that's why I said the word last. Last thing big thing I remember her being in was Ghost World, and I think that came out a few years after American Beauty. And American Beauty was okay. I saw it once, and I don't need to see it again. Just it made me feel kind of dirty having watched it because he's such a gross character, the dad.
Yep.
I mean, you sympathize with him, but his fixation with this young girl is just weird.
Yeah, it is.
Now, see, he's given the speech here about the Soviet fleet, which connects it back to Hunt for Red October. And I think that's a statue of Cromwell, isn't it?
No idea.
And there's those big furry hats that Anima hates.
They make no sense.
I don't understand them. They make no sense. Why do they wear the chin over the mouth? Chin strap. It makes no sense. I'm like,
And they
I don't
pull
care.
them so far down they can barely see. It just looks stupid.
Came out the same year as American Pie. Huh. Imagine if they combined those two movies.
That would have been a very, very interesting
American
film.
Beauty Pie. Whoa.
Yeah, American Beauty
Yeah.
Pie.
It starts out as a comedy, turns into a horror movie real fast. Like, wait, what?
And every kid does this. I didn't do it. I respected the British soldiers when I was over.
I always laugh when tourists try to either run past them or, touch them and then figure out real fast that those guys are not show troops at all.
They've got a loaded weapon.
And there's some of the best soldiers in the British Army.
It's similar to what we have with the Guards of the Unknown Soldier, because they don't fuck around. They will give you warnings and then they will fucking shoot you.
Well, you know who one of the guys who was one of the Tomb Guards was, right? It was Mike Glover. Former Green Beret, before he did that detail. A lot of those guys are either Special Forces or Rangers.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. So that's Patrick Bergen, by the way. Patrick Bergen is a guy whose career was great in the 90s and just sort of fizzled over the years.
Yep.
Really good actor. By the way, this kid on the right here, absolutely the single best dead body acting I've ever seen in a film.
Yeah.
His eyes never flinch when they're moving him around, and his
He really
eyes
looks
are
dead.
his eyes are dilated, which is I'm assuming maybe they gave him eye drops or something,
That's what I think.
because his eyes look fixed and dilated, which is what it, and here's the moment he sees what's going on, knows what's happening, and he starts yelling, "Get down, get down." And then he gets angry because he sees nobody doing anything, and these people just shooting into this car. And he runs over, tackles one, takes his gun, shoots one, kills the other, and the one he kills is the kid.
That's
John
just his
Bean's
training
brother.
kicking in. He's not
Yeah.
thinking. He's just reacting.
And people forget he was in the military.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a Marine.
Yeah.
He was a Marine. And he was in, as I recall, it was a helicopter pancake
Yes.
accident.
Helicopter accident.
And it compressed
Spent the
his
last
spine.
year at Annapolis in traction. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I remember in Hunt for October, that one officer, played by the same actor who played Professor Moriarty on Star Trek, was kind of talking shit about him. There's Patrick. Now that's funny because he's grabs the mask, starts driving down the street like all casual, and he's even whistling when he's doing it. Like, what the fuck? And Sean Bean right here, that's it. He is fixated. And look at that guy's eyes, man. I shit you not. This guy plays dead better than anybody I have ever seen.
Yeah, because they handcuffed the dead body, right?
Yep. They're moving his head around and shit, and his eyes are fixed.
Yeah.
And never blinks, never flinches. Okay, I didn't even understand the reference to Saint there, Wade. What's that guy, the backdoor Saint?
What?
Wade just ham fisting it, you know.
I'm fisting my back door.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Fisting your back door. That's it.
This ain't that kind of
Oh
show.
my
Okay.
God, guys.
Going for his video.
Check around and see if there's a back door.
So, again, I want to point out you've got Patrick Bergen, who's actually from Ireland. Richard Harris, also from Ireland. David Thriffle is Irish descent, but from England. J.E. Freeman, good actor. One of the lesser known characters in the film, but who's essential all the way to the end of the film, is Hugh Fraser, who is quite British. And Alan Armstrong, who I think is great. First thing I remember him in was Kroll with
Yeah,
great fucking actor.
he was the leader of the thieves
Yes.
who
Yeah,
gains his
he's
freedom.
he's the cop in this one, isn't he?
He's
Yep.
one of the cops, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we also have Ellen Deer, who was just a gorgeous lady when she was young. She plays one of the older analysts with the gray hair with that Harrison Ford interacts with.
Who plays the redhead chick? The one that they're always looking
Oh, that's Polly Walker. She's an English actress.
Oof. Gorgeous.
Yep. And
There he
let me
is.
see. Pip Torrens is another actor that's in this set. Most people don't know who he is, and you'll recognize him in films and you won't know his name. He's just one of those actors. There he is. There's Alan. Alan's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
And Ted Raimi is in this. Ted,
Yeah.
he is in 2 of the films. He's in this film and in Clear and Present Danger. He's a CIA technician. Another actor who's become better known over the years that's in this film. Trying to find him here. Where the heck is he? He's the guy the hacker for the CIA. And I am not seeing him.
Uncredited? What?
No, I didn't
Say it ain't so.
recognize him from anything.
Say it ain't
This is why I don't like Google. Everybody keeps saying Mephisto says use Google. I have a problem with Google because they use wrong photos, and on top of that, don't always have all the actors listed. So I always end up going to to IMDb to look up stuff like Patriot Games.
Google is
And
getting
my problem
worse
with
too.
my
They're
problem with
getting stupid.
IMDb is they'll have actors out of the order that they should be listed.
Right.
They base theirs on how popular the actor is. And of course, Sam Jackson's in this. See if I can find him here. He's not listed in the main cast, so I'll have to go to the next page.
I always thought IMDb listed the actors by pay.
No, the more popular they are after the above the line actors, they'll start throwing them up on the front page. And it's really fucking bizarre when they do that shit. Now, Pip Torrens is in this. He plays one of the first aides to Fox's character. And you know him as the villain from Preacher. That's what he's best known for.
CIA technician Ted Raimi? No, that's not who you're looking for, is it?
No. Oh, wait. The actor I'm looking for is actually in Clear and Present Danger. He's not in this one. Okay. That's where he does the hacking. And they're walking away going, this will probably take him days, and then he's got it before they've walked 15 feet.
We watched the movies back to back yesterday. That's why I'm mixing it up. See, I was worried I would do that, Gerry.
That's gotta be uncomfortable.
What does?
You two being back to back, where you put the screen, how do you watch it? Yeah, it's a dad joke.
Excellent. Excellence.
Here's the great sex scene where she kills this dude.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Robert the Bruce.
Yeah, these guys are killing their own guys trying to get this done.
And these are all members of the IRA that they're taking out because they're going to create their own version of the IRA.
Yeah, they're tired of the IRA sitting on their hands, in their opinion. Yeah. They're trying to take the fight to the royals, right?
So they're the kind ones.
Yeah. This
I'm
is
sorry,
good.
I'm reading the dialogue here.
Yeah, this is good stuff, man. These two cops act like he's in on it, though. That's what I always thought was fucked up about this scene. They're giving him shit.
They are. They cannot process the fact that somebody did something.
Right.
Yeah.
They figure he's got something to do with it or something.
Especially with his last name.
Right? His name is Ryan.
So again, I want to point out at this point, he doesn't work for the CIA anymore. But when he goes into court, and this is the thing that pisses me off in the courtroom scene. By the way, there he is. That guy right there is
The courtroom scene is so fucked
he
up.
is the secret villain of the film.
Right. He's the aide to the royal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the one getting his
But-
itinerary to him and all
So
that
the
shit.
defense attorney just goes after Ryan. And I'm like, why
It
isn't the
makes no
prosecutor?
sense.
The prosecutor would absolutely be objecting to everything this guy says to Jack
Right.
Ryan's
He
character.
should.
Right.
He's impugning the witness. Well, it goes to his credibility. There should have been a little more back and forth rather than him just going after him.
Right.
And the prosecutor
Hey,
not
we have
doing anything.
We have Glenn Fleming, so
Hey, one
two
of my
British people here,
one of my limey prick friends. Yep.
and we
Hey.
have
My
Dustin.
buddy. Yeah, Dustin is here. What is up?
Hey, Dustin's
What's
here.
up, Justin?
Hey,
Keith.
Keith.
Keith
Oh,
is here. Yeah. They've tried to create other ones. They did one with the actor Scott Bakula, and it didn't pan out. The Jack Ryan series worked, but it was so fucked up because they would basically each season was adapted from a book, but it was so loosely adapted that it didn't even look the same, and the characters were fucked. Like Dean Chavez. I hated the way they brought him in. Don't get me wrong, I like the actor. He did a great job performing the role. It was not Dean Chavez.
No.
I turned it off after one episode because it looked like Jack was an all-knowing secret agent in it. And I was like,
Yeah, it's just it got ridiculous with it. I mean, it's the same shit they did with the Chris Pine version when he played Jack Ryan. Shadow Patriot, or where the fuck that movie was called?
Net
Shadow Force.
Recruit. Shadow Recruit.
Keith, Shadow Recruit. Keith just brought it up. Net Force was the name of it.
Yeah.
And I always thought Splinter Cell should have been a TV series. Would have
That
been
could have
good.
been, yeah.
My brother used to play the shit out of that game. I think Michael Ironsides was the voice on it.
yes.
It is Michael Ironside.
And these days with shows like SEAL Team out, you could easily do Ghost Recon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because that would have
Oh,
been
come
easy.
on, Glenn.
What's the other one?
I
Rainbow
disagree.
Six?
He's not a bad actor.
Yeah.
Come on.
Rainbow Six is the other one, isn't it?
That's just hating on the Irish, man.
Come on, bro.
He's just hating on the Irish.
Come
Now,
on,
Thor
bro.
Birch was such a cute kid in this.
Nobody does a death scene like Sean Penn or Sean Bean. Sorry, Sean
Well,
Bean.
he has practice.
Nobody earns his death like Sean Bean.
Right? Nobody. You're
Keith
rooting
says
for
it
that
too.
scene.
Whoa.
I don't think he's too old. Why would you think that?
I explained why. Because the fans of the books wanted each adaptation of the film to be done at the age he was in the book. That's why. And it's a movie. It's a different animal. And, that's why, even though I read the books, some people don't. Keith's one of those people. He felt he was too old. I think a guy in his 40s was just the right age to be playing this character who's retired. He's retired from the CIA. I read the book too, Keith. There's no excuse. Fuck off. No, I'm just kidding.
I had no problem with Harrison Ford at all.
No, he's in his 40s. He was supposed to be in his 30s, but the fact is, in the film, he's retired. This is years after Hunt for Red October. It's not in the same time as the books.
Yeah.
So I think he's right at that age. He's now teaching at Annapolis and apparently lecturing all over the world.
You know what he's too old for? He's too old to be the Red Hulk. Okay, that's for sure. He's too old for that shit.
Big question here is, who gives a fuck that he's the Red Hulk?
Right?
I don't. I'm not going to watch the movie. I don't care. Nothing Marvel puts out now is interesting to me.
Yeah.
DC's the same. Well, yeah, they changed the stories. You know,
Yes, they did.
and that's it. The film and the books are different animals. Trying to compare it is a waste of time. It's like Sisyphus pushing a rock up a hill. Just it's pointless.
I got no problem with them recasting though, at all. I mean,
See, this is here you go again. You're falling into the same trap, Keith. You're in a trap. You have created a trap for yourself. The films have to follow in the chronological order of the books. No, they don't. You can make them at any time.
yeah, they're individual stories.
People think that Keith and I always agree on everything. We don't. We're just nice to each other when we don't agree.
This bookmaker right here, this book's salesman right here, that was a good character right there.
He's very bookish.
He's
My
very
favorite moment with him is, I can fire a weapon.
right. Oh my
Does it-
god!
And then,
Yeah,
Sean Bean takes the weapon back, and then Patrick Berger wants voice, sorry, lad. And he fucking
Sorry
blows
about
him
that.
away.
Brrr. See ya.
And Anima goes, at least they apologized to him before killing him.
Yeah, I mean, he's no use
Now-
anymore. But at least there's just sorry.
Now, that should have been a red flag for the other guy, seeing how much Sean Bean enjoyed killing that guy.
Yeah.
He is look, man, he's a sociopath. A lot of those guys are.
He
in
says
fact,
he wants in here, man.
Uh-oh.
There's nothing keeping you out.
Right? I don't understand. You have full access.
You know where the link is. Go.
However,
Now, Feldfall's
th-
been in a lot of really good stuff. He was in the original series Shameless, that was in Ireland. He was in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This thing right here, this guy figures out quick he's screwed.
What are you gonna do? Let him shoot him and then you're gonna let them shoot him and then let him in? He just knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Uh,
Look
he
at him.
was
He's
in-
like, you piece of shit.
Oh, he's in the movie Master and Commander. I love that movie.
Master Commander's a great flick.
The Far Side of the World. I love that movie. It should have been a series.
You know the privateer digs that flick. Hell yeah.
Love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think there originally was a plan to make more, but the movie was so expensive that the studio wouldn't greenlight it.
And it didn't do well at the box office for some reason, man. I don't know what the deal is with that. But
It was a great film, man.
yeah.
It has
One
one
of
of my favorite jokes in it. The Weevil
What?
joke.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I know which one it is.
I love that joke. I laughed out loud in the theater and nobody else laughed. I was like,
It's like,
He
what?
got quiet.
Nobody? Good. Fuck you all.
Doesn't he tell him just get it over with when he's on the ground? Something like that. I can't
Get
remember.
on with it.
Yeah, get on with it or
Get on with it or get over it or get it
Yeah.
over with. Because he knows they're going to execute him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jones doesn't even come into it until after this shit goes down.
You have a question from Wade.
We haven't done Red Dawn yet, have we?
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
I will only show up for the OG.
There is
There
only
is
one film.
only one Red Dawn.
Yeah. I don't know
I
what
mean,
you're
the
talking
Chris
about. There is
Hemsworth
only
one
one
is
Red Dawn.
okay, but it doesn't have near the heart that the
Yeah,
first
No
it's not
idea.
a bad movie, but
Never
don't
heard
call
of it.
Red Dawn.
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Right?
No clue.
I have no clue what you're talking about. Oh. There's only one Red Dawn. There can be only one.
You can top Powers Booth.
Powers
you
Booth is
can't.
good in it.
Yeah, he was. Taught them Wolverines how to fight, boy. That was awesome.
That's why when that game came out, what was that game that had Red Dawn stuff in it?
Homefront?
What was it called?
Homefront in 2011?
Homefront. Hell
Good game,
yeah.
by the way.
Fucking Homefront. It had stuff from Red Dawn in it, and I loved that.
Yeah,
Because
they
John
exchanged-
Milius helped write it.
Well, John Milius
They-
directed was one of the.
they exchanged the
He's on the
Russian
game.
for North Korean, I think.
It was initially
Basically.
supposed to be the Chinese, but the studio was getting pushback from China, and they wanted a Chinese release of the game to give it to that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
everybody knows
huge
it's going to
market.
be fucking China that tries to invade us if anybody
Yeah,
ever
but
does.
the Chinese wouldn't agree to release the game in China if they had used China as the bad guy, so they picked North Korea instead.
Joe says he gets the song for nothing. It's like, no, if you get it free, you still paid somehow because you're a patron.
Right? No such thing as a free lunch around here.
Oh, I just looked and we're streaming still. They got 21 people watching us over on Twitter.
Nice.
Okay, Keith. I sent you the link and you're not here, so you're not walking the talk.
He's fucking around.
Yeah, I
He's
think so.
trolling. He's trolling. He keeps telling his wife, I don't want to go back, blah, 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 but something happens to change his mind. And that's the whole reason why Greer's a major part of this, because he's the doorway back into the CIA for him. Yeah.
Yep.
And at least in the books, it doesn't come across that well in the movies, but in the books, Greer is basically grooming Ryan as his successor.
Right.
That, I got to tell you, that looks like the same boat from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Does it?
It might actually be.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's been used in other films, with Captain Katanga
Yes.
and Chocolate Mousse from Top Secret. He's on it. He's in there. He's the guy that points. There he is. That's him. That's Chocolate Mousse from Top Secret.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's had his ears lowered. He lost his 90s haircut. What the hell?
Hey,
Snorty's here. Hey, buddy.
Hello,
favorite-
Snort.
polar bear.
Did you know that if you took a bite of Snortopupus's liver, you would die? Because he's polar bear. And you would have to, he would claw you to death before you got the liver.
Yeah.
The
I don't
Royal
think
is just
polar bears
oblivious
like
to what's
being
going on
eaten.
in everything. He's oblivious to everything. Totally oblivious.
He's your typical kind of bureaucratic royal.
Yeah.
And he says this line right there, whoever this traitor is, and that's the traitor right there.
Yeah. Snooty Pop. Poop says I'm toxic. Oh.
Oh,
You're welcome on here, Mephisto, because you're a veteran.
He doesn't have time. He's
I
having
know.
dinner with the kids.
I just fucking read it. It's on the screen right now.
Yeah, he just messaged me too.
no, it's not.
Yeah, he's... And I was responding to him. I said, he's welcome here anytime. It's Military Monday. Talk about military stuff.
We should add him to the group.
He doesn't like to be in groups.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
like this
phobia.
class scene. This was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Here comes the
the
diva.
bullseye purple heart.
hmm For being dumb, right? Doesn't he call him an idiot or some shit like that? I can't remember.
The
I
purple, the
I appreciated that because that was always, the military sense of humor of we used to refer to Purple Heart as the metal no one wants.
Right, the metal nobody wants. That's it.
There he is.
And our
We got
monkey.
21 watching on Twitter and nobody's chatting, and I'm over there right now chatting.
Hey,
Nobody's-
Keith.
Hey,
For her.
What's up, Keith? Good to see you, man.
what's up, everybody? Look, don't get me wrong. I like the film, but as a fan of the book, as much as I loved Harrison Ford, the take that I had was if they had hired him originally to be in The Hunt for Red October, that would have been fantastic because technically you're doing the same thing you did with the Indiana Jones films, which is you have him playing a character where you've got his age all out of order. And I don't mind that so much. What I minded was the fact...
It doesn't matter with the films. It doesn't matter.
Well,
what only matters if the books are different.
What I was getting to was this. You're leaving out a whole lot of stuff from his character in doing what they did. In advancing the character in age from where you had him in The Hunt for Red October to this film, you are cutting out a lot of stuff. And he being such a big star, I'm not saying they should not have done it. You have an opportunity to have Harrison Ford as your lead. You take it. You use him. You do exactly what you needed to do. But the other thing was the fact that I think they just missed out on an opportunity to be able to utilize the rest of his story because he's such a fascinating character in the books. It's kind of, this. I can understand why the producers did all the James Bond films out of order, but for this, there is a particular kind of order to it because it's mentioned in the books. And the other thing is how important, the point that Tom Clancy makes in understanding who their son's godparents are, which is a major rewrite from the movie. In the book, as Gerry probably explained, the royals that he actually ends up saving are Charles and Diana.
Charles and Diana, that's right.
Yeah.
And so those are his son's godparents. And that's part of the reason why he's over in London at the beginning of The Hunt for Red October.
All right. So
go ahead.
I want to address it's got to keep moving. Slasher Fred, I love the movie Apocalypse Now. Harrison Ford has a very small role. In fact, he plays Colonel Lucas.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Named after George Lucas.
Yep.
Now, this scene is one of my favorite moments in the film because it shows how smart Ford's character is.
Yeah.
That he uses a reflection in the van to look back behind him because things were already bugging him. The way this guy was behaving, the Jeep honking when he was paying attention for too long on him, it was meant to distract him. So he's already on defense mode.
Pins and needles.
And if you've ever been to Annapolis, this is a great place to go to. I love this place. Now, this is the same dude, if I recall correctly, he ended up playing one of the aliens in Men in Black in the first film.
Yes, the first one.
He was the guy who...
with the eyes.
Yeah, he was the guy...
Uh-huh.
Yes, he was the guy that... he was the perp that Will Smith chased down on foot.
Chases.
Yep. And that's basically what got him an opportunity to join the Men in Black, was having chased him down.
Yep. Now, this is kind of cool. Harrison Ford does the double back on him. tricks him thinking he's going to run on the other side of the truck. He runs around there. He's not there. And when he turns to go back, there's Harrison Ford ready to lay one of those really terrible punches that Harrison Ford throws.
Oh, he's so bad at that.
He
It's
is just
embarrassing.
worst punches I've ever seen.
Mama said, knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. Yeah, and then he gets dusted by the guards at the gate.
Yeah, he gets smoked, and the guy smiles at him. If only they had made his eyes blink the way the alien did in Men in Black, it would have been really cool.
Right.
And immediately he knows his wife and daughter are in danger.
Yep.
And he has one of those 90s car phones. They weren't called mobile phones per se. They were called car phones.
Yep.
And I love this guard. Sir, are you okay? Sir? I would have given him a brush up, go, fuck off.
He's laser focused right now, bro.
And there she is in that very unsafe Porsche. You want a car to drive your kid around in, you want a Volvo from the 80s.
Yes.
90s.
If you're thinking safety, if you're thinking sexy, the Porsche is
corrugated metal. It has corrugated metal between the roof and the doors.
And let's face it, Volvo, they're built like an absolute tank.
They're tanks, dude. They really are.
And they're heavy as fuck, too. I saw
they are.
on some of the old wagons. They're like 5,000 pounds for a station wagon.
They're safe as fuck, man. You've got a better chance of surviving in those.
And yet, they managed to do a racing car with the Polestar.
True, yeah.
Now, if you were empathetic to the extreme IRA characters in this movie, you lose all empathy after this.
Because
they're targeting women.
He's
and children.
trying to murder his wife and daughter.
Yep.
And I love the confrontation between him and Patty, played by Richard Harris. Again, I'm going to point out.
I do too. Yeah.
You don't get Patties in Northern Ireland. You get them in, from Limerick and shit like that, and around the Ring of Kerry, And
was they tell him something like,
and they have Richard Harris. So and they have Richard Harris using a Northern Irish accent.
What does he tell him? I can't remember exactly. Something to the effect of I'll make you look so bad in the press you'll be slinging rocks at the British troops or something like that. Yeah.
I'll put such a chokehold. Yeah.
On your money. Yeah.
And so he ends up coming to him later with a photo.
Yeah.
Which leads to a great confrontation between him and his, I don't know if he's supervisor or what he is, but I think he's the not senior, but junior field, I forget the directors. Yeah. And he goes to him, he says, so you told him you're looking for a woman with red hair, and he gives you a woman with red hair. He goes, I never told him I was looking for a woman. And then the guy goes, oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's
that actor right there. Yeah, he's
kettle of fish.
Gets in his ass. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Never told him I was looking for a woman.
I want to do War Games, and I also want to do Red Dawn, because Red Dawn's, we need to do that soon. I will set that up.
But we could do War Games on a Wednesday.
Yeah, War Games is more of, even though it does involve the military, it's more of a Wednesday movie to me, because this central character isn't military.
No.
So I do that on a Wednesday. But for Red Dawn, absolutely, that is a military Monday film.
You know it, man. We just did War Games not too long ago on Brian's channel for one of the movie get-togethers. It was pretty cool. We had a good time. The Whopper. A hamburger's gonna blow up the world.
You see, I refrained to do a dad joke about that.
God, she's got road rash and she's still gorgeous.
Right.
Yep. She can't help herself.
They should have given her puffed up lips.
An amazing actress.
And Archer. I brought up the fact that we have to do narrow margin on a Wednesday. Because I love that film, Gene Hackman and her.
Didn't the kid lose her spleen or some shit like that?
Yep.
Yes.
They had to take out the spleen.
Mm-hmm.
And she was critical for a while.
Yeah.
But I think she got a donor.
Now, this part of the movie is when it's perfect casting to have Harrison Ford in this, because he's ready to kill some people now. He's invested now.
Well, I love it when he goes to the CIA and the guy's like, look, man, you're retired, you're teaching now. And then Greer walks in. He goes, I'm sure you're giving a really good reason why we couldn't use him.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm going to leave you guys alone.
This is the second scene. This is his Sam Jackson's second scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets a third scene in the big action scene at the end of the film.
Right.
And I can't understand why he did that. He did it with this movie, and he did it with A Time to Kill, where he talks shit about his scenes getting cut. Because like with Time to Kill, he said the scene would have got me an Oscar, and they cut it from the film.
What
and then with this film, he was talking about how he was in more of the film at the end, and they cut his scenes. And it's like one of the producers called him and said, this is a Harrison Ford film, not a Sam Jackson film.
Ooh, this scene is awesome. Oh.
And he just, because I understand his frustration, but you just don't do that. It's not professional.
He was pissed.
You know,
I'm talking about the scene there. He was
pissed.
Yeah. Friggin' Richard
when
Harris
he uses the Harrison finger.
Yeah. That's it.
I love it. We get to see Langley every once in a while and Quantico.
Yeah.
In these films. And the most they're allowed to do is show they can walk in the main entrance and they can't go any further. So they always shoot right there.
Yeah.
Now,
and this was actually made before the incident at Langley, to where they had even higher security.
Yeah.
Because you had that guy in the parking lot.
Yeah. Which, going after the CIA at their headquarters, that's brave.
Ballsy.
Brave.
That's
Not
ballsy.
very bright, but brave.
That's smart. But here he is. He's
it's definitely stupid.
Yeah, here you go.
You've been out, you're retired, and then Greer walks in and pulls a Keith here. You were going to explain to him why he doesn't need to be here?
Right?
And we couldn't use him anymore? I love his scenes are just too limited in this. He's the character I felt should be in there more.
Yeah.
Because he is such good friends with Jack Ryan.
Right.
But they limit it. Now in this scene, you got some actors here of note. And there she is. That's Ellen Gear. She's no, that's the younger chick. You've got the logo over it, so I can't tell. Because Ellen Gear plays one of the analysts that works with him when they're doing the power meeting. He's trying to figure out where to go next, and then he runs into the redheaded chick with the ponytail in the bathroom because he went in the women's room and not the man's room. Because Jack Ryan's kind of he's kind of an idiot in some ways. He's not self-aware.
I always thought he was kind of artistic. That's what I thought.
Autistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really an idiot, more
people on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Not self-aware.
Yeah, he's like mildly autistic, where he just doesn't get the shit that's going on around him.
I want to go back to that image right there, and I want Pope to tell people what that is, because I know what it is. On top of this armored vehicle.
Let's see here.
Because we in the military know what those are. Especially grunts know what that is.
What, you talking about the little protrusions on the side? Those are smoke grenade launchers.
They're launchers for warding off people getting too close to the vehicle.
Yeah, for a ride vehicle.
Tanks
like that.
have them. Tanks have them. They're anti-personnel.
They mostly launch smoke out of them, so in case they need to retreat, they can launch a smoke screen and then pull back behind it. It's also great for the supporting infantry if they're getting hit, they can just launch the smoke ahead of us and we can maneuver.
And just so you guys know, the camera they're using this is also the same kind of camera that's put up your butt.
Wow.
Yeah,
They found
people
a different
absolutely
use for
needed
it.
to know that.
Information I did not need.
Yeah. Thank
There
you,
it
Gerry.
is, the camera.
Wow.
I got
The
a
camera of Dr.
colonoscopy next
Jellyfinger.
year. Stop it. You're scaring me. Had to go get some coffee. In my Patriot coffee.
And that one British officer is like, "We got guns." They gave us guns.
Right.
Well, in England, that's a big deal.
There she is.
Yep.
There
Yeah,
she
but
is,
that's
buddy.
actually in Ireland, as I recall. They went over to Ireland. for
Gerry,
that.
there
Yeah.
she is, man.
There she is, Gear. Gorgeous lady, man. When she was young, holy crap, she was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I brought up Alan Armstrong, Keith, because he plays one of the cops in this. He
Oh yeah.
he was with Liam Neeson in Kroll.
Kroll.
Yes. He was
And
also
we got to
in the
do
movie
that
The
one
Saint.
too. Oh my God!
We
yes,
should do
he was
Crawl
great in
and we
that.
should do The Saint because
Didn't we do
that
Saint?
is-
Because I know Anima and I watched it.
No, we haven't done the same.
We haven't
Val
done it.
Kilmer
Watched it, but we
Saint?
haven't talked
Anima
about it
loved
yet.
that movie, by the way.
Oh,
She
yeah.
really enjoyed that.
I did.
You talk about the Val Kilmer one?
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Good movie.
Good movie.
that's a long published series of character. Those books, the Saint novels themselves. I mean, they have been publishing
And
Saint
you
novels
never really
since-
find out his real name.
Yeah, you
Did
It's
you
not
ever-
you
important.
don't.
Did you ever find out his name when Roger Moore played him on TV? No?
He was called Simon Templar, but that's not his name.
You
Right.
Yeah, you never found out in any of the movies. You never found out
Or the books.
in the television series or the books.
What his
Although the
birth
movie
name
with
was.
Val Kilmer added more that wasn't originally into the books. You
Yeah,
know,
they showed him in
the
school and
books-
why he took Simon Magus
Yeah.
and all of that
That-
shit. And
Yeah,
became
they never
Simon
went into that in the
Templar.
books.
because he was a big fan of the Templar Knights, and his favorite saint was
Mm-hmm.
Simon Magus.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And that was
Very
it.
cool.
And great, we ought to do that one because they've been publishing. He's been published since at least 1920.
He's writing them all
They've
the way
been
up into the
publishing Saint
60s.
books.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
all the way up
So-
into the 60s.
You know what?
And
We should. Oh, sorry, continue.
in the movie, they have one of like two references to the movie version of the Saint in that film with Val Kilmer. So you see the original Saint movies on his TV that are in black and white.
Wow.
And
Yes, Polly Walker
it's-
was on
we ought to do that
Caprica, a show that I just didn't think should have existed. Just they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was. Now,
I could tell by the trailer. I watched the trailer and I'm like, they don't know what they're doing.
so
So he
I have
sees her
to give-
hair, and then he has a memory. Remember.
Okay,
Yes,
let me
November.
give Snords his video.
Car just pulled up to the back door.
Oh,
Richard
Harris.
Harris. Yeah.
The greatest Richard Harris movie ever, if you ask me. Love it. Love it.
Well, Orca is
I
very
know-
high in my
I know a
list.
lot of people would want to fight me over this, but I really loved Camelot.
Yeah.
I
Me
just,
too.
I'm not a big fan of the song MacArthur Park. I think it's self-indulgent, but God damn it, if he didn't sound good singing it.
Yeah.
I
Sean
was
Bean, that
really.
did you see
hooked up.
that? That was Sean Bean reading the writing on the wall that he has to die by the end of the film.
Right. He's in training mode right now. He's had his ears lowered.
I was really hoping after this movie was released, the next one they would do would be the Cardinal of the Kremlin.
I was kind of
Which
hoping
is
the same
also-
thing, to be honest with you. And instead, we got Ben Affleck in Sum of All Fears, which he was wrong. He was wrong for that part completely. He's not Jack Ryan.
Clear
by
and
the way,
Present Danger was next, wasn't it?
That's a
Yeah.
classic.
Clear and Present Danger was
after Clear and Present Danger.
Oh,
So this is the Sikorsky, the early one. And you would see this in early footage of Vietnam before the other Sikorsky came into operation.
Yeah, the Marines.
This one I always said looked like a grasshopper, like a bug's head.
Yeah, I can see it.
The Marines got the hand-me-downs from the Army.
As
and
usual.
so they got the old school. It's typical. I was reading and talking to Dale Dyer once, and I said, is it true that the body armor that was given to the Marines in Vietnam was hand-me-downs from the Korean War? He goes, yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Including the M1 helmet and the fucking weapons they were handed.
Wow.
They got the first, they were given the M14, which was just a great weapon, but clunky and again, it was limited in how many rounds you could fire.
These guys are all on their own page, man. This guy's trying to start something with the Royals to get the IRA motivated.
They
and
are
Sean Bean's
extremists.
on a
They're
revenge
always
mission.
wrong.
They're all, these guys all have a different motivation. They're not.
Yeah,
a
his
Well, they're working
motivation
cross
is one
purposes.
thing.
Mhm.
He is, Captain Ahab. That's
Right.
who
He's going to get
Sean
his
Bean's
white
character
whale.
is.
Yep. Mhm.
He's after his whale,
Mhm.
and that's all he cares. He's focused on that to the point at the end he ends up killing his comrades
Yep.
to get out of his way.
Not only
Stop
his comrade,
trying to stop me.
this guy, the other guy, the head of the Splinter Cell, he raised him.
He's like
That's
his dad. Yeah, it's fucking
Patrick-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love that
Patrick
house, by
Bergen.
the way. Yeah,
Good
I brought
actor.
him up earlier. Great actor who had some good stuff going in the 90s, going to the 2000s. Then he just sort of disappeared. I still see him and stuff, but nothing big.
yeah. His version of Robin Hood was very well done.
Very realistic, more
Yeah.
true to what it would have been like. And hence, nobody wanted to see it.
Mhm.
Also, the producers of these films, the Jack Ryan movies, were also the people behind
Mace Neufeld.
behind Val Kilmer's The Saint.
Yep.
Very cool.
Mace Neufeld was connected to a lot of really cool stuff, to be honest with you. He
And
did
Phillip
some junky
Noyce.
stuff, but
Oh yeah. Oh geez. Good.
yeah,
good
Phil
man.
Noyce was the director.
Oh, here's one of the scenes that I like the most in this movie.
Yeah, Robert Remy was his
When-
partner as far as Mace Neufeld goes in
Yeah.
producing it.
And Phillip Noyce directed The Saint. So it's basically a reunion
like-
of everybody that worked on
Yep.
on this.
That's right.
I like her when she says to him, "Get him. I don't care how you do it."
Yeah. I don't care how you do it. Yeah.
It's
amazing
like
how
in-
I did find it weak. I'm going to point this out because early on, when they came over to talk to him, Greer shows up and all that shit, and Ann Archer's like all of a sudden like stressed out, like I don't want you going back to that life, and I'm like going, he was a fucking analyst,
Yeah, right.
home every fucking night.
Mhm.
He had an office. He worked in a cubicle. I couldn't understand that line.
She must be talking about the whole incident with the submarine and getting shot and getting.
One fucking
Torpedoes.
time he gets involved with something and does an incredible Sean Connery impression.
They never
Yeah.
forget, man. They never forget.
I'm just saying, I was annoyed with that line because I didn't think it was fitting to who Jack Ryan is. Jack Ryan is an analyst. That's all he
Yeah.
is.
He is.
Mhm.
I love
He's
this
an analyst
scene.
who ends
Well-
up getting
Culture,
sucked
he
into
never worked
things.
in that film. Yeah.
But that's the reason why having him be younger and playing it more like the book, you're battling really for his soul. You have his wife on one side, you have Greer on the other, and it's which direction he's going to go. Is he just going to stay an analyst? Is he going to continue to do what he's doing, or will he go further with it?
Yeah. So here's the scene.
One of the things that I'm sad they didn't go down doing.
Well, look, they haven't got Jack Ryan correct yet. The closest they had was Hunter Red October.
Yeah.
But the Jack Ryan series was just terrible in so many ways. It was fun in some ways, wrong. I mean, how do you fuck up Ding Chavez? That is one of the coolest fucking characters ever created. I played those games just so I could be around Clark and fucking Ding Chavez, because I fucking love those characters. But anyway, let's get into this scene. This is the scene that we were talking about earlier, when he confronts him. And I love how Richard Harris plays up. You hear that, lads? You hear that, lads?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's walking into a bar where almost everybody wants him dead. Who is
they're fucking all supporters of the IRA.
Yeah, but I don't know if you don't.
Yeah, I'm trying to show the dialogue here. Drop the thing, please. Thank you. No, Sean Miller and Kevin O'Donnell are, and he's just letting him know. And this is where he ends with that threat. He threatens him.
Straight up tells him what he's going to do. Yeah.
I will put a chokehold on your money. I will drag my daughter out.
Yep. I put a bullet through my own head. Yeah.
So all you have is rocks to throw it.
Yeah, it's so great. Yeah. I'll go home and call a TV station.
There it is. I'll go home and call the
want.
TV station, give them what they want. There you go. I don't give a shit whether you did it or not.
He has balls.
He'd be out in the street throwing rocks.
And
he knows he's right.
Yeah, he knows.
But he turns around and he goes, "Did you hear that, lad? Did you hear that?"
Let's face it, the IRA did not have a great public face. They did
not.
No,
they did not.
No.
I wonder why.
I was in London when they killed Mountbatten.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the horror of that. And they went into lockdown. And anytime I remember I was in Glasgow and we walked out of the train station, and we had to go out another entrance exit because they had it blocked off because somebody left a paper bag on a brick wall outside the entrance.
Yep.
A paper lunch bag. They just didn't take any more chances after that shit. So what I love about this is you see they're in Syria or wherever it is that they're training with other terrorists.
North Africa.
Which could be
anywhere
amongst anything.
Anywhere.
Yeah. So they're training out there, and they're fully aware of when the satellites are going over.
Yep.
And they got the intel that tells them when they're going over. And Harrison Ford asks his boss, retask the satellite so he can catch them off guard. And he's like, "Do you know how difficult it is to retask a satellite?" And he goes, "Yeah."
So I need
a great moment.
Thank you.
We need this to happen so we can find these guys. And of course, Sean Bean, everybody's told, "Satellite's coming up, everybody inside, everybody in the tents." And Sean Bean's got to be the badass that stays out there with his little MP5 fucking firing, or Uzi. I can't remember what he's fucking firing.
Yeah.
An automatic weapon. It's an Uzi. So he's firing his little Uzi, hitting the target full auto.
He's aiming an Uzi. I love it.
Okay, here we go. This is the scene. The guy in the middle there, that's his boss, the one I was bringing up a second ago. And Gear is in the scene. And this gentleman here has been in so many commercials and movies and TV shows. And people don't know who the fuck he is. His name is John Lafayette. He's from New Orleans. The black actor there at the computer screen.
Excellent.
And that's Ted Raimi standing up over Harrison Ford.
Yep.
Right.
This was a big
Dang.
break for him. This is what got him the gig with Sequest,
Yep.
being in this movie. There she is, Gear. God, she is so gorgeous.
Hmm.
So it is in Libya.
Yeah. He's must be a lawless place with all of that going on.
It's the
All
middle
these
of
different
nowhere.
factions doing their training there.
It's the middle of fucking nowhere.
Right.
That's
No
why you need a
place.
satellite to find them. But they can do what they want there.
Mhm.
No
And
one
once
can.
again, even in his 40s, if you split Harrison Ford's face, one side is happy, the other side wants to murder you.
Yes.
His face is
Most
so weird.
people has that feature.
The lack of symmetry, but no, his actually looks fucking angry.
Even when he
Full of
smiles,
hate.
the other half looks
Yeah,
like
he's
it's gonna murder
smiling,
you.
and like the other side of the face is, I want to stab you.
It's a Chicago thing.
It's a Chicago thing. That's right. He's from
What?
Chicago. So he's from Chicago. So
Okay.
this is where we start seeing some trickery. They like, can you enhance that? You know, and it's like, I'm sorry, at that time they could not enhance photos like they're showing.
No.
You could do it by the 2000s a little bit. Now they use AI to enhance. So I think that's her.
Well, a few years before this, remember No Way Out? It took them how many days to try and enhance a photograph? Trying to find his picture,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
Oh. and,
Yeah, they
and
weren't
it sucked up
enhancing
all
it.
their computer time too, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
weren't enhancing it. They were trying to take the washed out negative and pull the
Right.
photo from it
Right.
and
My
put it
point
back
is,
together
the
again.
technology
Yeah.
wasn't that great back then.
Yeah.
We had just really
Wow.
successfully created the first CG dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah. How long after that did Jurassic Park come out? What the, I don't remember.
I thought that was right around. I was
I mean, Jurassic
Came
Park
out in
was 93.
92.
yeah,
So
'cause it's the
later.
same year. Same year.
Cool.
This is 1992. It's what I said too. It's like I'm like, it seems like it was the same year.
Yeah.
Came out in 93. But the cool thing about the dinosaurs with Jurassic Park was he hid them well, the flaws in the dinosaurs,
Mhm.
and mixing in real, what do you call them, animatronic dinosaurs.
Mhm.
Now, Thora Birch, she's one of those kid actors that suffered from not growing up pretty. And it's sad because it really hurt her career.
She was a cute kid.
this is still an incredible cast.
Oh
It's
yeah.
an incredible cast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I brought this up earlier that Gates McFadden didn't work with Ford very well. And so they wanted somebody that was more age correct, and they got Ann Archer to come in and take over the role.
And
So they were
lost
the
her
only
accent,
two that
too.
got recast. Yeah, I don't even remember her having an accent.
She did. I'm telling you. I've seen The Hunt for October at least 30 times, dude. It's top 5 movie for me. Love it.
Somebody likes Alec Baldwin.
I like the movie. He just happens to be in it.
Holy walk.
And I still think, even though he's a complete asshole and not safe with guns, he's the best guy that's ever. He's played the best Jack Ryan on screen ever. So,
And I will point this out, by the way, also in the 90s, Harrison Ford did 2 films with daughters that had really good actors playing his kids. Thora Birch in this, and then what's her name in Regarding Henry the year before? What is that girl's name?
Probably one of the few
Mickey
J.J.
Allen.
Abrams movies that's actually any good from
Good.
beginning to end.
And he's in the movie too. He's the delivery boy. Oh, this is great when they find the camera.
Oh, he's panicking. He knows
He
he's
thinks
screwed.
well, it's first of all, it's smoking, and he's looking up there. And you think he sees us? You think he's? And then he calls for an electrician to come over. Guy begins talking the typical gibberish that electricians talk, and oh, your junctions and all this shit. And it's like nobody fucking cares. Dude. Just do your job. And he pulls the camera out and he goes, "You know what this is?" It's like, I have no idea. I have to go.
Yeah, I like when he panics and runs off.
I thought that was her. The wife and I are revisiting The Walking Dead for about the 4th time. Thora Birch was Gamma in the Whisperers storyline.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said, she's still working. It's just her career took a hit after Ghost World.
We just
Because
got
she
done.
just wasn't good looking. She was thick and not good looking.
Yeah.
And Hollywood likes to act like we're not about beauty. No, really? Then what happened to Thora Birch?
Yeah.
That was before.
Look, man, they talk all about body positivity and all this stuff, and then you look at music
liars.
videos. Watch music videos and tell me if they're worried about body positivity and shit. There's nothing but gorgeous people. In
Well,
those.
if it is that big,
Even
thick
Lisa
black
has
chick-
lost weight.
Oh, let's not talk about
Well,
that, please.
I mean, is that who you're talking about? Because I was saying something and you said something at the same time. What did you say?
That even Lisa has lost
Lizzo,
weight.
that's who I was saying. Yeah, Lizzo is, like, that's she's what you refer to as fetish material. Those guys that
just
wanna
to
have
update you on
Catwoman
Patrick.
on their face.
Just to update you on Patrick Bergen, he's still out there and doing stuff, but
Yeah, I know, I
he's
said
got
he
a
was.
band now. Oh,
Yeah, I said he's still working, but not like he was in the 90s and early 2000s. His career just sort of like hit a plateau and then just kind of decelerated. And he's just not much stuff.
well, as of 2017, 2018, he joined a soap opera for about a year.
Where?
He was in the EastEnders.
Oh, a show that I will never fucking watch. Okay.
He currently has a band
I like that
called
when I sound excited. Then I just go the opposite way with it.
Patrick Bergen and the Spirit Merchants, and he had a top 10 hit in Ireland with the song called "The Knacker." He is 6'3".
He's a tall fucker, man.
Yeah, he's a tall guy, and he's 73.
Yeah, the last thing I saw him in was a terrible film. It was called One Ranger, and he played Doc in it. And One Ranger had Thomas Jane in it and Malkovich, so I thought, oh, this has got to be good. It was awful. Thomas Jane has the worst trigger discipline I have ever seen in that film. Constantly fingering the triggers. Oh, it's ridiculous. The female that he teams up with has better trigger discipline than he does in the film. And he's a Texas Ranger. Like, fuck off.
Maybe he's sending her signals.
Oh, shit. He was in that
Oh my
show I
God, Mikey.
loved. He was in Wild Bill with Rob Lowe, a series I felt should have gotten another season. It was a really good show. It was an American cop gets punished and sent to England.
Cool.
Be a cop. And it's really good show. I enjoyed the crap out of it. If you've never seen it, look it up. Wild Bill with Rob Lowe.
Okay.
So this is where he gets to witness the taking down of the team, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
where are we at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this line. He says, "Tell me one thing that's certain in this life." And he goes, "My daughter's love."
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, that's a good line. I like that line.
I think he says a daughter's love. I think.
No, he says, "My daughter's love."
Well, he almost lost her, so.
So it's a good scene. And my problem is the trepidation they show him have. Because as he's watching the live feed when they do the assault, he's like troubled by, oh, here it is. God, I love this moment.
Yeah.
So I can fire a weapon or I can fire a gun. By the way, Pope, you know how, during training, you're not supposed to call a weapon a gun, right?
Yep.
And I said, am I allowed to say it at the end of light machine? Or do I have to just say light machine? Or can I say gun? And I swear to God, my drill instructor looked right at me like, you're going to be a fucking problem. He didn't say it. He just gave me that look like you're a problem.
Yeah, he just looks at you like, oh, you're that kid.
Yeah. You're going to be fucking with me all the time. Because, after graduation, I made it clear because I said bye to my drill instructors. We were friends. We became very friendly. And I said bye to him. And I said, and by the way, I'm going to call it a gun all the time. So anyway, so he's like, I can handle a gun. I can do this. And so he throws him an AK-47 and he doesn't know how to fucking charge it. He doesn't know how to fucking do anything. He's never fired a weapon before. At least give him some training, But then he's already aiming the weapon at him. And then Birkin's like, he apologizes to him. Sorry, Mikey, or whatever his name is. And that look right there, I'm going to kill you.
Yep.
And he doesn't look down. He fires straight past the camera and then doesn't look down until after he's lowered his weapon to see the dead body. That was weird because, your eye follows your target. And I thought that was odd that he did that way. And I think it was supposed to show like his psychological detachment for what he's doing.
Crazy.
Here we go. This is it. This is the scene where he gets to see Call of Duty level graphics.
Yeah.
Because anybody who's playing Call of Duty, when you get up there on that fucking C-130, firing those big weapons, the 20 and all that shit, you get to see that thermal, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It does do something.
I love it when you got like a group of them running and you fire the 20 in the middle of it and it just sends them flying in different directions.
Well, do you remember in the movie The A-Team when the bad guy is using they are using the C-130 and he's looking on a monitor and said, "Oh, it looks like exactly Call of Duty."
Call of Duty.
And the reason that scene or that little set piece in Call of Duty is so famous is that is exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. It's absolutely like I can hardly wait to get to that. Now, this latest version of the game that I got, which is not the latest one, but the previous version, I think it was 3 or whatever it was. I cannot get through the road chase scene. I keep dying because I can't drive and fight people at the same time. I don't know how he's, it's like I've watched like videos of how they did it, and I'm like, I can't replicate that. And so I'm stuck. I can't get past. If it's shooting shit like that, I do fine. The minute we get to the driving thing, I'm in trouble.
So you haven't mastered road rage yet.
No.
Well, and part of it too is it's designed as a shooter, so the driving mechanics are not great.
They're not very good. They aren't. And you have to maintain a certain speed. You have to jump on the vehicle. You got to do all the keys to jump on the vehicle. Then you got to hold on and steer, and then also try to attack other vehicles and get around them, and they're all fucking moving around you, and I keep fucking dying, and I gave up. I'm like, fuck this, and so I stopped playing. And now I won't even bother with it because it's been so long since I played it. I haven't played it since May was the last time I played, and I know they've done all the updates. So that thing's going to take a week to do all the downloads because they make you download the entire fucking new game, even if you don't want it.
Yep.
So I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to bother with it anymore. So anyway, this scene, one of the things that's interesting is the shot they show of the guy crawling. He's laying there and he's clearly dying, and he's trying to crawl back towards the tent or whatever he was in. And he keys in on that. Harrison Ford's character, Jack Ryan, keys in on that. And it's something I wish they wouldn't do with his character, because this is a character fully aware what these things are. It's not like something new to him. So that's the second thing in the film that bugged me that they did with Jack Ryan. First one was having the wife act like he's a cop. Every time you go out, I don't know if you're coming back. What the fuck are you talking about? He works in a fucking office. He's an analyst.
He's like,
Jesus Christ.
Don't worry about it.
Thanks for overacting, Ann Archer. No, it's the screenwriter's fault for writing that shit in there. It's stupid. And they keep going back to status live. This is a live feed. Then it starts to blink out, and Anima's like, what happened? What happened here? I said, the satellite is moving, and it hits a point where it can't pick up
broadcasting
anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're all done. And he thinks, oh, good, they're dead. No.
Yeah.
You know, and now they're going to have the royal over to the house. They're going to have this big shindig. They're invited Sam Jackson.
It's a birthday for the girl. It's
it's her birthday. Big event, inviting all these people. And so he's going to be in America. So he's like, yeah, let's make it happen. And of course, it's actually set up by his traitorous assistant, because he wants to have them all together there so Sean Bean's character can kill them.
Edward Fox. I'm sorry, Edward Fox.
James Fox. No, it's James. His
James
brother
Fox.
is you're talking about his brother. He's the one. This is not the one that was in Day of the Jackal or Horse Him from Neverone. He's the other brother. He's the gentler brother. He always plays gentler characters.
He's shorter than he is too. He's not as
Is
big
he?
as his brother. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In stature, he's not a big guy. Yeah.
And they're both still alive, aren't they?
Yeah, Edward Fox, Robert Fox, and James Fox. James is 85.
Just look at him in Force 10 from Navarone, standing next to Harrison Ford. This brother, this guy right here, is eye to eye, if not taller than Harrison Ford. And Harrison Ford's not a short guy. And the dude in Guns of Navarone is definitely shorter than he is. Yeah. Absolutely.
And of course, we all know that his great nephew plays Ian Fleming in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which I thought was cool. It's a third generation of Fox actors.
Yeah, shit's about to go down because they just lost power.
The power went out. You know that doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah, that wasn't a storm.
Well, he even goes down there with Sam Jackson, because if you're going to go into a basement, you want to take a Sam Jackson with you.
Of course.
And so he goes down with Sam, and he sees it, and he's about to turn it back on, and he goes, no, they'll know. He wants to catch them off guard, so he leaves the power off. What he doesn't know at that point is that they have a traitor in the house who kills one of the security detail.
But boy, he figures it
out. But he catches him.
Sees him right here.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't take him long.
Oh,
knocks the shit out of him.
He is not nice to this guy either.
He shoots his knee.
He wants information.
Well, I mean, He's in his house
Yeah.
and he's killing people. So yeah,
Guess
kneecaps.
Now, I do want to
go.
point out Edward Fox, his brother that was in Force 10 and all that. One of the best roles I enjoyed him in, he played M with Sean Connery in Never Say Never Again.
Yes, he did. He did. He was him. Yep.
He has a posh English accent. Perfect posh English accent.
There you go.
I love
that.
Edward
Turn it back on. He says, no, wait a minute. Don't know what you're talking about. Really? Well, let's see if I can jog your memory.
So
James
he's still
Fox.
alive too. He's still
Yeah.
alive. So the Fox brothers are all still alive.
Yeah. King Rat, those magnificent men in their flying machines, thoroughly modern Millie. And then he quit acting for a few years to be an evangelical Christian.
Who did? Edward or James?
James.
James. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I love Edward in A Bridge Too Far. He was really good in that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. They turned the lights on these guys. Oops.
Oh my God. He's also in the new TV series. I got to finish that show, The Gentleman, based on the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of the
Loosely
characters.
based on
It's based on that universe.
Yes. In fact, it was nominated for an Emmy. I don't know if it won.
I watched episode 1 and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Watch the whole thing.
It's Guy Ritchie at his best when he's doing crime shows. I love it when they show night vision.
He totally fucks these guys up when he turns the lights on. Wow.
Well, one of the guys gets fucked because of the lightning. He has his night vision thing on, and then he looks straight into the lightning.
Well, those old Nogs would impact you that way. The modern Nogs won't do that. What Nogs did you use, Pope?
We had the 14s.
Okay.
The newer monocular
Yeah,
ones.
they're the
When I first came in, we were still using the 7s, though, the ones that they have in this movie.
Yeah, those are not good.
Oh, God, they're terrible. I had to drive a Humvee with those.
Oh,
Good luck with that. There's no depth perception.
No depth
all.
perception at all. It's kind of like trying to drive while looking through a toilet paper tube because that's all you can see. You have no peripheral vision of any kind.
Very narrow vision.
The camera's long enough that it won't focus in close enough so you can actually look down and see your instrument panel. So you have to basically keep one hand on the NVGs while you're driving, and then if you want to look at your gauges, you have to tilt it up a little bit and tilt your face down and look at the gauges.
Sounds awesome.
All the while trying to look at the blackout lights of the truck in front of you, and if you can see two lights, you're too close. It was a horrible, horrible thing. We were doing 5 miles an hour for the training course, and it felt like we were doing 30.
Now, I don't know where I can find it, but I do know that I remember reading that they had shot several different deaths for Sean Bean's character.
Wow.
And we got the one which makes the most sense. Him being dropped on his back onto the spike of the anchor.
Yeah.
Impaled with an anchor, yeah.
Impaled on that and then blown up.
As if we haven't seen enough of Sean Bean dying in movies. They had to have extra ones for this one? What?
Well, they weren't totally sure how they wanted him to die.
Oh.
And so they showed several different ways. And eventually this is the one that they show in this film. But I love the fact that he is, by doing everything he is doing in this film, he is the road runner. And Sean Bean is Wile E. Coyote, losing his fucking mind. Why won't you let me kill you?
Right. I'm starting to think Sean Bean's fetish is dying.
He did an interview not that long ago talking about all the different ways he's died in film. Yeah, hostage rescue is HRT. They wouldn't actually say hostage rescue. They would say, "Get me HRT." But because it's a movie and civilians don't know that, they say hostage rescue. And it is a division within the FBI.
We actually
It's
did
the FBI's. It's the FBI's SWAT, specifically designed to deal with hostage situations. And as I recall, they were created after the events with the Israeli athletes that were killed at the Munich Olympics.
Yeah.
We're
The
talking about
HRT
something.
was. Keith, you're saying something?
I was just going to say, Edward Fox actually served in the military, lieutenant. And part of, I think, what eventually led him getting his OBE. But yes, British Army.
His OBE was given for acting, but it's also meritorious service. Did you know Americans can actually get knighted? It's called, it's an honorary knight, but it is still a knighting. I learned it because of this film. I went and read it up. Can an American be knighted? Is that true? Yes, it is. Americans can be knighted.
Yeah, he was part of the Loyal Regiment, North Lancashire, and he served from 58 to 60. I even have a service number.
Wow.
446.
I swear to God, though, when you look at him, what's that?
His service number, 446128.
Oh, that's cool. I can't say my service number. Neither can Pope.
Nope.
Because it's also our Social Security numbers for some weird reason.
Well, it made sense for my generation because we were all born with a social. So they just decided to tie that into the same system. And they've gone away from that again since, because identity theft is becoming a more thing. So if you lose your ID at any point, well, somebody has your Social Security number.
Yep.
That's mine too.
I remember in boot, right before basic, we were still in reception technically, and basic hasn't started yet, and you weren't even called by that. You were called by the number you were issued when you came in to reception. So mine was written on the on my duffel bag, and it's like under the flap, and you would write it in there. And I had this idiot for a battle buddy in reception. Guy was fucking. He had a head that was flat on the back. He'd been laid down as a child and never held, and he was so dumb. And when he got his helmet issued to him, he was last in the fucking line. So he got whatever was left, and he got one that was too small, but his head, the way it was shaped, made it sit on top of his head, like way up there, like this.
Oh, geez.
And he looked just like he was handicapped. And I got stuck with this guy, and he was a complete fucking buffoon. And I would fuck with him constantly. But he got me smoked one day because he forgot his fucking number. You're his battle buddy. You're responsible for that. And I went, oh, you motherfuckers. All right. So I walked over to this guy, and I said, you got your watch there. It was the military kind with the thing, the Velcro flap. Yeah. I said, on underside of that flap, I want you to write your fucking number from your duffel bag. And you will have that with you at all times. If you hear someone yell out a number, open that and look to see if it's you. Because if you get me smoked again, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. So later on, I ran into him. He was in the other platoon. He wasn't in my platoon, thank God. He was in another platoon in the company. And I saw him out on one of the ranges sitting up on the bleachers with everybody who's already finished the lane, And so I go up there and I sat down, and everybody's talking, and I started telling a story about him while he's sitting there. And I'm telling all these fucked up stories of things that he did during reception. And he's just laughing along with everybody else. Oh, that's funny. He's a good old boy, by the way. He talked like that. He had a big old thick accent. And I finally get to the wristwatch thing. And he's just laughing so hard. And I said, and in fact, it's you. He goes, no, it wasn't me. I said, yes, it was you. He goes, nuh-uh. And I said, it is
What
you,
a
and
moron.
I can prove it. He goes, how? I said, open your wristwatch band. And I told him the number. And he opened it, and there was that number. And he looks at me, he looks at everybody, he goes, how'd you do that?
Not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Oh my
Not
God.
really, no.
He thought it was a fucking magic trick. I just couldn't believe that guy.
Wow.
But I wouldn't let him be bullied.
Yeah.
You know, I protected anybody in my platoon. If I caught somebody getting bullied, I'd go right at the guy bullying him. I'm like, knock that shit off. So this is great. Once again, Wile E. Coyote has been outsmarted again as they head for the boats. And Jack's like, go on this boat, go that direction. I'm going to go this way and draw their attention, which is exactly what he does.
Yep.
And he gets in the boat and he starts going out and they chase him. So the others get away. I can't remember. Did they go on a boat or how did they get away?
They didn't leave. They sent one.
Oh,
of the
they didn't
boats
leave.
out.
They went back up for the
They're
FBI.
on the shore. They're on the shore still. Yep. I was going to mention, by the way, earlier, we got into the Sean Bean death scenes thing on our channel one time, and we actually did a Google search to see if he had been killed more than anybody else in movie history, and it's not him.
He's not.
It's actually Vincent Price. He's been killed 70 times on screen.
Wow.
Or no, is it Vincent Price? No, I think it's Christopher Lee. Yeah, it's Christopher Lee. He's been killed 70 times. And if you know anything about him, it's probably mostly vampire movies. But, you know, hey. But,
Or the monster where
yeah.
he played the monster, because he's played monsters,
Right.
Mummy.
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
Christopher Lee has been killed more than any other actor in movie history.
But
I'm going
Bean's
to pause
death in this
the
movie
film
is
for a
awesome.
second.
It's so brutal.
I want to pause the film for a second because I want to pull this picture up of Edward Fox because I love this guy.
Yeah,
I
he's
swear to
great.
God, he is Hugh Grant's illegitimate father.
Right?
He always reminds me of Hugh Grant. When I see Hugh Grant reminds me of Edward Fox.
I don't remember him having red hair, though. Wow.
The down eyes, the same jawline, the same smile lines, just everything. And the posh English accent on top of that.
Yeah. I don't remember him being a Carrot Top, though. I don't remember that. Must have colored his hair a lot for movies.
He's blonde.
Yeah.
All of his brothers and all the kids are blonde. I don't think there's a single ginger or brown head. It's just that hair looked orange because of the lighting.
Well,
But no, he's absolutely a blonde. The whole family.
Gotcha.
So here we go. Back to the film.
Yeah, this
So
is
they're
a cool
chasing
scene,
him.
man. That's some rough seas they're on right there, boy. That boat is jumping around.
And, you know, Polly is like threatening him. Bergen is threatening him. We got to stop. We got to stop. And then when they try to stop him, he shoots Bergen, murders the guy that raised him.
Yep.
And then Polly should have shot him. It would have all ended right there if she had shot him. But she pulls a weapon on him and then doesn't fire. Which is stupid.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Gonna pull it. Use it.
Yep.
Sorry.
I even said that to my dad once. He pulled his 45 on me once and put it in my belly and said something akin to what Bill Cosby once said. I brought you into this world. I can take you out. But Bill Cosby said something more clever, that I can make another one just like you.
Yeah, I can make another one just like you. Yeah.
But, and I looked at my dad and I remembered what he taught me. Don't pull a weapon unless you're going to use it. And I said, well, what are you going to do? And he didn't expect that. I was terrified, but I didn't let him see it. I wouldn't show it.
This is a great action sequence, though, man.
Yeah, it is.
Great job on this.
The fight scene between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they have a great setup of the anchor because he tries to hit him with the anchor and then it sticks into the boat and he can't pull it back up. And so it's stuck there.
Yep.
And Harrison Ford, I mean, Sean Bean can actually throw a punch. Harrison Ford throws these clunky punches and he hesitates sometimes too. He hesitated in this one too.
It's so bad.
at the scene on the street. He hesitates with his punch. It's like, what are you doing?
Hesitating.
He admitted to it that he doesn't know how to fight. There he is. That's the look of Sean
Got
Bean
him.
when he's
Yeah.
dies for the first time on film.
And then gets blown the hell up. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Yeah,
those
which is
guys gotta
really-
say a lot to get. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, the boat, when it's sitting there, actually is just sitting there when it blows up. And you can tell it's not moving. And it was one of those things I was like, it kind of like caught my eye when I saw it the first time. But you were going to say too, Keith?
Oh, no. Wow.
So the movie ends, everybody's alive. Then we get to see them the next day or sometime after, and everything's back to normal. Yeah, fade out, fade in. It's daytime, another day. I love how somebody pointed out that you can read the Ryan's name on the mailbox, but not the number on the house.
Yeah.
It's like the number is like scribbled on there in such a way you can't read it. And she finds out that she's, of course, pregnant. And you want to
No,
find
she
out?
knew that before.
Please let me finish. She finds out that she's pregnant earlier in the film, and now she finds out what the sex is. And she goes, "Do you guys want to know? Do you want to know? I don't know. Do you want to know? I don't know. Do you want to know?" And then they look at her, and then it goes to black. And I'm like, we don't get to find out until Clear and Present Danger.
I had a feeling it's a boy though, and I was right. But
Yes.
it's funny to end it that way. She gets the phone call, her doctor tells her what it is, but we don't get to know.
Junior.
It's Jack.
Jack.
Basically.
The Incredibles. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh,
So
It's a good
movie.
character. Good character. And Jack Jr. is going to have his own series of adventures in the books. So.
and they'll call it Jack Ryan 2.
Deuces.
Don't call me Junior.
Vinkman's girl. No, he's not a strawberry blonde. He's actually blonde. And the whole family are just like you can tell that they've got some Aryan blood in them.
Jesus.
There's definitely some German stuff going on there. Or Teutonic blood in there.
No.
Further north it would be the Norse, and then they would be reddish. But around the German region, the old Teutonic region, you've got the blondes, which I think they called them the Picts? Was that it?
No, the Picts are Scottish.
Scottish. What were the? I know they're called Teutons or Teutons.
Yeah, well, the Teuton, they're vaguely German.
It's early Germany.
Yeah, it's the predecessors.
But the Romans called them
Germany.
something, and I can't remember what the hell it is.
Well, the Angles are from there originally.
But not strawberry blood.
Which is where we get the term Anglo-Saxon from. It was the Angles and the Saxons that came over to England.
Yep. And a lot of people don't know that the true English crown ended with the Plantagenets, and then it became French. And then at the War of the Roses, it became German. And so it's been German blood in the royal family since.
And if you want to get technical, it wasn't French, it was Norse. The Normans are French, but they are not genetically French.
Matilda, who is Henry's mother, was German.
That's true, yeah.
But the technically, I'm incorrect. Hold on, I'm going to go back. It became French in 1066. At the Battle of Hastings.
French speaking, but they were Norse. The Normans were basically paid.
He was the French king, right?
Well, he spoke French, but they are genetically Norse. They're descendants of Rollo. who came down from Norway to basically.
Hey, I like his candy.
But up.
But yeah, they came down to the north of France, which is where we get the term Normandy from, to defend France against other Vikings.
Yeah. So anyway, really true English. Those that are not since 1066. So, and that was who was that? That was Henry too, wasn't it? That was killed at the Battle of Hastings. I forget his name.
Edward. And that's actually the funniest part about the Battle of Hastings is pretty much no matter the outcome of the battle, William would have been King of England anyway because Edward took an arrow to the eye like 5 minutes into the battle.
Well, he made a mistake because he's not the only king killed in those couple of weeks. He also killed the last Viking king.
Yeah, Harold Hardrada.
Harold Hardrada, and it was King Harold of England.
King Harold was the previous one who had just died, and Edward was his successor, supposedly. But there were two other claimants: Harold Hardrada, who King Harold had promised his throne to, and William the Bastard of Normandy, who was his son, but illegitimate, so he had a claim to the throne.
He was a bastard.
A total bastard.
Well, he was an usurper, but he was very popular with the people and with the barons. And so that's why it led to what was going on. Same thing happened later with Henry, because Henry didn't become king immediately. The usurper took it, and he held the crown for just a handful of years. He died young. They died young back then. Like if you were in your 50s, you were old.
A lot of that is the infant mortality rate skewing the figures way down.
Well, it's also pneumonia. It's also pneumonia. Pneumonia was the great killer. And it killed, and it would hit you. In fact, that's what killed William Marshall. William Marshall came back after a battle and going across the ocean got pneumonia. And he languished in the Tower of London for weeks. But he was 75 years old when he died. He outlived everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, 75 was ancient back then.
Oh my God, yeah.
And he went into battle with a guy 40 years younger than him and killed him in combat.
Yeah, a lot of those guys did not fuck around. It's like just because he's old does not mean he's bad.
He was referred to as probably one of the greatest knights who ever lived.
Yeah. Well, isn't that the common phrase with soldiers? Beware an old man in professions when men die young.
Yeah, it tells you something about him. So, but anyway, I like this film. We'll probably do Clear and Present Danger next, because once again celebrating James Earl Jones, because he was great in this character. And the other film, he's still not in the film enough for me, but this is the film where he gets to do a performance of a lifetime of Admiral Greer dying of cancer.
Yeah.
And even Anima said the timing in the film was perfect of the delivery of this, because we just had this happen. This would be the perfect time for that to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and they changed so much from the book on that one. Just, it was ridiculous because Ryan did not go down there.
Yeah.
You know, that was Clark and Dean Chavez's job.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would love to see them do a real version of Without Remorse. That would be fucking awesome.
I would just simply like to see an actual series recast where each season does the actual fucking book.
Yeah.
Right?
You could even reuse some of the cast, because John Krasinski was a great actor. It was the writers who were the problem on that show.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see just a mini series of Red Storm Rising.
That would be cool too. Especially because it's a self-contained one. It's not part of the
It
Ryan
is,
so.
Mm-hmm. Ryan's in it, but he's on an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Atlantic. Yeah.
I liked it later when he became president. And I was just really enjoyed that. because when he finds out that his kid at kindergarten, that one of the Secret Service agents may be turned, is actually a bad guy that may be trying to kill his kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, I was all into that. Tom Clancy fucking talking about shit we're finding out now.
Yeah. Executive Orders was a very interesting book, especially after 2020.
Well, you know that he got investigated again. He'd been investigated so many times for his books, starting with Hunt for October.
Well, October, they debriefed him at the White House. So
well, he took what he knew we could do with our submarines, and he kind of made up something.
He guessed the things, but he also found information at the Library of Congress, and he showed them all this information that I use in the story. That's not guesswork. Is based on what I read at the Library of Congress.
And the best part is he gets
they're
right.
like, that's not classified, and he's like, no, it's at the Library of fucking Congress.
Well, and the other part is the stuff he guessed about. Some of it he guessed right, and got guys from the DIA showing up like, "How do you know that?
How do you know that?" And when he showed the incident at the Capitol building, and with the jetliner being used, and
that
after 9/11,
that was like 5 or 6 years pre 9/11.
Yeah, and they showed up at his doorstep again over that.
Yep. Probably just like, if you could just not talk about that particular vulnerability, that would be outstanding. Thank you.
Wow.
Look, scholar.
And that's when they killed him.
Oh no, here we go.
I have been saying for quite a while that Tom Clancy definitely deserves an opportunity to have his entire universe re-examined, readapted, and for, to move forward with miniseries, streaming shows, and new films.
One thing I don't want to see is what they did with the Amazon series and move it forward in time. No, keep it in the Cold War, because in that contest is where it makes sense.
It's got to be period piece in the Cold War, no doubt. Mm-hmm.
And please make Greer the character that was in the books. I love that guy as an actor, but man, they went off the rails with that character.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they were doing with him.
Yeah, it's just easier if you just adapt the books. And again, try to find an actor that's at least a little closer to whom Tom Clancy was really thinking about initially. The actor he had in mind when he started writing was Tom Selleck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thomas Magnum.
Yeah, Clancy, his books, I enjoyed the hell out of them. Of course,
I love it when an actor. I love it when an actor gets the same name he actually has in real life. I find that funny. It's happened so many times to Nicholson.
Right? He's Jack in half his damn movies. Hell, he was Jack in Batman, wasn't he?
Yep.
Jack
Napier.
Yep.
But he got a.
What really threw Anima though was in the court scene. He's called John Ryan, and Anima's like, I thought his name was Jack, and I said, yeah, Jack is short for John. It's not really, but it's another name for John is Jack.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jack should be short for Jacob. John is a different name.
Yeah, John.
Well,
John
Jacob
Fitzgerald
is Jake.
Kennedy's nickname was Jack.
Yep. Hell of an aircraft carrier. God.
JFK,
yeah.
So that's it.
Now.
I'm done. I'm tired of this show already.
Yeah,
done.
please.
I don't want to do this anymore. I'm
gonna
forward to it. Maybe we can do Clear and Present Danger next week because Anima and I just watched it, so it was fun.
I like that.
Less homework for next week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at going back and doing the Bond stuff again. It's about time, and I think I think now is the best time to go back and re-examine, look at Bond in both film and in novels, and even check out some of the comic adaptations. But I've slowly gotten back into it, and
I
even
remember that
choosing
comic in the 80s that was it from Boom or who it was from that had James Bond. That was where it got brought up that every time a James Bond dies, a new James Bond steps up.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know
a
if I'll be
code name.
doing that one, but I'll definitely have an idea listing my favorite soundtracks and my favorite compilations, which, as far as I'm concerned, I still think James Bond's Greatest Hits compilation from '82 is probably the best all-around compilation, period, because it's all the original artists, nobody covering anything, it's great. It's fantastic. When I could listen to that on repeat, so
I think Deleted Scenes is doing Thunderball here pretty quick, if I remember.
ooh,
Yeah,
good one.
it's a great
know
one.
that-
My favorite. It's my favorite Connery one.
Well, the first three Connerys are incredible.
Mhm.
To me, that is your high watermark right there. It's tough to beat that combination. In fact, in my opinion, it's tough to beat any of the Connery films. So as far as I'm concerned, the question is, who's the best James Bond after Sean Connery? That's the question. Everybody's got their own answer.
That's it.
I think Pierce is an excellent Bond, but
Timothy Dalton is my favorite.
Yeah, Timothy Dalton is mine. I love Timothy Dalton's portrayal. I think the second film he did was good, but I still think The Living Daylights is my favorite.
Living Daylights rocks the house. Love that movie.
He was certainly the most underrated Bond. I grew up with Pierce Brosnan, so that's always been kind of my picture of him. But
well, and the reason why is I think Gerry can also say the same thing. It's because he was the only one of the Bond actors to actually read the books.
Yeah,
and so he got it.
He was a fan. He was offered the role in '69, and he turned it down after he did The Lion in Winter, which was his first movie. And they offered him the role, and he's like, "I'm in my 20s. I'm too young." He knew that because he read the books, and he turned it down. You can look it up. That's a fact. And he would finally get his chance later on when he was the right age in the 80s. Problem was they messed it up.
They kept asking him. That's the other thing. Even after they had hired Roger Moore, they kept going back to Timothy Dalton.
I mean, to not Timothy Dalton. What's his name?
Pierce
Just said his name. No, it is Timothy Dalton. I got him screwed up in my head.
Timothy Dalton. Yeah, Dalton kept getting asked. He was in their back pocket, and had he said yes,
thank God, not the back door.
Oh, jeez.
The funny part was the only reason Dalton got his shot at the 80s was because Pierce Brosnan was their first choice, but he was busy doing Remington Steele and couldn't do it.
Yeah, NBC wouldn't let him out of his contract.
They pulled a Tom Selleck on him.
Yep.
Selleck was supposed to get Indiana Jones, and Magnum wouldn't let him go. So that's that.
Yeah, it's sad because I enjoyed all the Bonds, but Dalton brought something that was a little more. You could tell that this is definitely an actor who wanted to do his research, and he knew how far to take the character. And again, I like all the other actors, but outside of Sean Connery, I think Dalton's just got it down. And had he been allowed to make one more movie, I think he would have been able to show that. But I do like them all. All of them are good,
Yeah, even Daniel Craig has his moments.
I'm not a fan of Roger Moore, even though that was my Bond I grew up with. As I got older, I started like going, I don't like the cheekiness. I really don't. I like the thuggishness of Connery.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I liked Live and Let Die, but I didn't really like the other films anymore. Not as much. I still enjoy them. I can still watch them. I have all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only one I don't have, which is the film I don't like, is On Her Majesty's Secret Service because the effects were so terrible in it.
Yeah.
I still like that film.
And I don't like Savalas in it. I don't like it.
I get that. No, I totally get that. But it is one of my favorite holiday films. And
it's a product of its time. You can tell they got a lot of hallucinogens.
What holiday?
You know.
Christmas.
Later,
I love
Kwanzaa. It was in Kwanzaa.
Yes. Bond celebrates Kwanzaa in that movie. But no, I mean, I enjoy that entire soundtrack. And again, it's hard to beat We Have All the Time in the World, even though it was kind of sullied.
Oh, yeah.
Using it in that final Bond film. But I think that is one of the most romantic songs of all time. I just you just can't really beat that song.
Yeah.
And
are you talking about, wait a minute, were you talking about The Spy Who Loved Me?
No, All the Time in the World.
All the Time in the World.
Yeah. The one from Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah, on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah. It's a great song. And
it's okay. It's all right.
It's okay for that. It's okay for that.
Gladys Knight did, in my opinion, the best Bond song. That one and God, Gladys Knight did the 2 songs in that one film with Timothy Dalton.
Yeah,
and
then Tina Turner.
What's her name from the Motels did a song that I fucking love. At the end of Timothy Dalton's film.
Yeah.
You talking about Living Daylights?
No.
Christ, no. That was Aha and the Pretenders. Chrissy Hyde, I should say. If There Was a Man. Which is also a very good show.
My favorite one's the one at the beginning of Timothy Dalton's first one, Casino Royale. I love that song, man. That song is awesome.
Oh, You Know My Name. You Know My Name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chris Cornell did a fantastic job.
That was
that opening also, the graphics in it are really cool, but it was the first one not to have women in it.
Yep.
There's no women in the opening of that movie.
Yeah.
And it just seems sad when they do that. It's like, we're not going to be sexist and use women. It's like, then you've forgotten who the main character is.
Who the main character is, right?
Yeah, right.
Well,
James Bond.
I mean, I dig the opening of it because of the graphics and the fact that they were making him more, stunt driven, actual stunts. He was going to be a fist fighter, a tough guy, that kind of thing. But
plus, they put Ava Green in it at a low cut dress. I can't argue with that.
There you go.
She's just amazing to look at.
Best spot.
Yes. I just think that it says something when all of the people who are putting their hat in the ring to be the next Bond opt out. It tells you the direction you're going is not something that a lot of actors want to be a part of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so the Gladys Knight songs, if you asked me to, was the end song.
Oh,
and
God,
the
that was good.
Song License to Kill. Man, nobody can sing like Gladys Knight.
I love Gladys Knight, but I really liked GoldenEye by Tina Turner.
Yeah. Shit, that was good.
I didn't because I can't stand Tina Turner's voice.
True.
Well, Keith,
I've talked to you about this before. I don't like Tina Turner's voice. It's my problem with Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is Tina Turner because she annoyed me and I can't stand her voice. Raggedy Man. Fuck you, bitch. No.
Well, Keith, anytime you want to do the Bond series, you just let me know. I will ride shotgun with you on that.
I will. I will be happy for the company because I love doing it. I love talking Bond. I think he is. It's a great character. He and I share the same horoscope sign. Bond really is the ultimate Scorpio. And there are a lot of other characters that have been around longer, but Bond just is the best.
No movie franchise has had such staying power. I mean,
geez.
I don't think so. You could argue Doctor Who's probably the longest media series that was as long as Bond, but man, wow.
There are so many ways to go, and there are so many wasted opportunities with other attempts. I still think that they were dumb. United Artists was dumb not to attempt to do a sequel to their film Man from U.N.C.L.E. I think when you have someone like a Henry Cavill and he's eager to play a part, you let him
killed
do
that
it.
film, The Cannibal.
Oh yeah. But you could have found somebody else to replace him. That's Absolutely. The thing. You could have found another.
We could have had any other Yuri Gagarin, played by maybe an actual Russian actor.
Probably.
If there was a man by The Pretenders, that's the one I was trying to think of.
Yes,
I love that song. I fucking love that song. I consider that probably my second or third favorite Bond song, and of course, number one, absolutely. Despite not having, I had problems with the movie, but I like Skyfall. That's a great song.
I just love the
movie.
Yeah, the movie was good. The song was fantastic.
It has a logic issue. Huge logic issue. You mean you did all of this and you predicted people doing things way before they did it, so much so that you knew to crash that train right through that fucking ceiling at that exact moment. Then what is your in-game plan? A shootout in a fucking courtroom.
Yeah.
That's what I think of that.
Well, I did love that they brought the DB5 back.
What?
They brought Bond's car back. For
the car back, yeah.
Yeah.
It gets pretty much destroyed, but yeah, it was fucking awesome.
I think Keith has successfully been broken again. Congrats, Gerry. Well done.
I still think, though, they should have tried harder to get Roger Moore to cameo in the film. Their original plan to have the groundskeeper be one of the former Bond actors would have, I think, been kind of very appropriate. And they were aiming for either Sean Connery or Roger Moore. And it would have been nice to have seen Roger Moore play that part, you know?
Yeah.
But I get it. I totally understand it, you know. But I just think that overall, it's a kick-ass film series, great character. I wouldn't mind if they extended to other books and stories eventually, because this making stuff up, as Gerry said earlier, it's going to kill the franchise if they go the direction that they.
It will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody will know to go read the book. By the way, this is my favorite James Bond moment in film history.
No, you take the head. I'm taking the back.
What's the plan, Wes?
Forget the plan. I'm giving the orders here. Now to shut up and give me the back half.
All right. Be an asshole.
And to anybody who likes On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Dan Bongino says it best.
Listen, fuckwad, so you can shut the fuck up, okay?
I can't remember who was licensed to do the books after the Fleming books.
It was Keith and I talk about this guy all the time. Shit, what's his fucking name?
It was
he took over in the late 70s going into the 80s, and he wrote the older James Bond.
It's good stuff.
And they're great. They're great.
I like the fact that the bad guys always had some kind of physical deformity to them. You know what I mean? They always had something physical jacked up about them.
John Gardner.
Yeah, Gardner.
He is the Tom Clancy of Bond books. If you enjoy Tom Clancy, John Gardner's Bond book.
He wrote a more legitimate Bond, in my opinion.
God,
if you go back to read Ian Fleming's, there's something kind of off about them.
Mm.
You know, they're a little overly silly in some ways.
But I would
Gardner's
love
were
to see
not.
some of those Gardner books as movies, man. That would be
Well,
badass.
we've talked about it that Netflix
Yeah.
should option the right to turn it into a series. Each season is a book by Gardner.
Yeah.
And you could absolutely have someone like Idris Elba play him. I would fucking
Hell yeah.
spoon out money.
They
So
waited too
there you
long
go.
because
Raining.
10 years ago,
10
years ago, they could have gotten Pierce Brosnan to do this. This would have been right up his alley. He would have been the perfect age.
The older Bond.
But now it's too late. That time has
Felix
passed.
Leiter is still alive,
Yeah.
and his daughter is now with the CIA, and she works with Bond. I mean, you just don't get anything cooler than that. So
Icebreaker
anyway,
is amazing.
It's
amazing
time to
book.
end this fucking show, for God's sakes.
Yes, let's do it.
Please let me end this show.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Don't you have the controls? Thought you did.
Yes, I do, but I'm not going to interrupt anybody, so I gotta keep. Yep. Shut the fuck up. Whoever said that. Fuck you, Joe.
It's not like you're the boss
So-
or something.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for being here. I don't know who all, because we've got about 40 on one and about 10 on the other right now. So I want to thank Emmanuel for being here, Andy Morrow, Dragon Ruse, Slasher Fred, Scribe Light, Deleted Scenes, Wade, Glenn fucking Fleming. Hey, Glenn, you're going to share those maps with me when you're done with them so I can see them. I'm one of the few people that's allowed to look at shit you do. Keto Simple, Snortopoopus, Mephisto. Who's Fisto? My Fisto. Mephisto. Or Mephisto. Radioactive, and Peter Vickman Fansite. Thanks all for being here. Everybody over on Twitter, thanks for watching the show. Anybody on Rumble, if there's anybody watching on Rumble, thanks for showing up. And I did a test today, by the way. My comment ended up showing up from Twitter. So people can talk from Twitter. They just don't for some reason. I don't know why. You guys are all welcome to join the chat. We love talking to our audience, man. But with that, we're going to get the fuck out of here. I hope everybody has a great day today. And it's the start of another week. Yay. So, Joe, thanks for being here. Pope, thanks for showing up, man. Keith, thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it. We're going to be doing Clear and Present Danger next week if you want to join us.
Yeah. That sounds
That
cool.
would be fun.
Because even though Keith didn't serve in the military, he's a big fan of the military, and he has 2 kids that served.
Got one currently back in it, and he just graduated from officers training school. So
I hope he's got his own theme music.
Well, then Keith is in the military, because if a family member's in the military, you're all in the military.
His genes are in the military, that's for sure.
There you go.
Anyway, everybody have a good
Let's
day today.
get out here.
Martin, Anima, thanks for being here. Great day. Have fun. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Y'all come back now, you hear?